Hey guys, Ray here, and thanks again for joining. This is my fourth YouTube video, and I think I got all the technical kinks worked out, so hopefully this will be a better, enjoyable experience. So today I'll be reviewing the Prodigy again, and if you guys saw my previous videos on the Prodigy, I said that this firearm will require a break-in period, and I think I finally have it broken in. This firearm has a little bit over 1,000 rounds in it, and it's performing like a beauty. So for those that haven't seen my previous videos on the Prodigy, let me just do a quick overview on the firearm. So this is a double stack 1911. That's what Springfield calls it. I think that they're not calling it a 2011 because I think Staccato coined that term, but the features on it are really similar. I mean, Springfield did an amazing job listening to their user base to build this firearm, to get all the features that are in it. And spoiler alert, I think that they did an amazing job. So, about the firearm, starting with outside in. So the slide is a full forged stainless steel slide. The frame is also stainless steel as well, but the grip is actually polymer. And this polymer grip is what allows this gun to take double stack magazines. So this Prodigy came with a 17 round mag and also a 20 round mag. Let me just do a safety check for you guys. So we are all clear. I mean, there's no magazine. And this polymer grip is significant in itself. So for me, what makes a 2011 is these three pieces: full steel slide, steel frame, and a polymer grip module. So Rock Island came with a double stack 1911 as well, but they went more of the traditional route where the lower was all one giant piece of steel, like a traditional 1911, like you see kind of here. So this is a single stack 1911, traditional 1911. So this is all just one giant piece of metal. So going back onto the exterior, this grip, I was telling you guys that at first I was kind of sketchy about the grip texture, but this grip texture just holds amazing. And every time you grip it, the harder you grip it, the harder it just grips you back. Springfield calls this their adaptive grip texture. It's the same one that's found on the Hellcat Pro. Now going along to the safeties, we have extended beaver tail grip safety. Is that the right term to call this thing? Extended beaver tail grip safety? I don't know. But you also have a very tactile Ambi safety, manual Ambi safety. I mean, this is like the ultimate fidget toy for an adult. I just do this all day. The barrel now, so let me try and see if I can catch it on the camera. So you can see there that it actually has a crown. It's a crown barrel. It has an 11-degree crown. It's an 11-degree crown barrel. And that's significant because if you nick the tip of your barrel, it'll throw off your accuracy. Now, moving on to the sights. It has a blacked out U-notch rear sight, fiber optic front sight. And, before, I'm used to like tritium sights. And I wasn't sure how I felt about this, but I know that Wilson Combat's a huge kind of advocate for this, but it's great. And this, when the light hits the fiber optic, this thing just stands out. Let me see. I got my TLR right here. So try and match them in the camera. There's the light. Yeah, it's very visible, but if you shine like a light through it, it's like, here it is. And then it's like, oh, there it is. There it is. So I think they did a marvelous job. Now this thing is cut out for an optic. It comes with the Hex Dragonfly plate. I ordered an RMR plate for it, but it hasn't come in the mail yet. I guess they're backlogged or something because I checked the status on the website and it just says awaiting fulfillment still. But yeah, I mean, they did a great job. And if you actually take this plate off, the whole rear sight comes off with it. And then whenever you put the plate on, the plate actually has a built-in rear sight. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. Here we go. Yeah, so you just screw this off. You can just put your plate in, and it has the rear sight built right into it. So that's kind of nice. And I like the kind of attention to detail that they put on the rear sight. Is actually serrated. So when light hits it, it won't like reflect back in your eye. So that's kind of nice. Let's see. Now, has a 3-hole skeletonized trigger. That's actually my favorite style of trigger. And then also the trigger itself is actually curved and serrated as well. So that's a nice little feature. For the rail, it has a Picatinny rail, 5-slot Picatinny rail. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-slot Picatinny rail. Front and rear serrations. Take out the safety. Really, really easy to rack. I mean, you could grip it, no problem. That's nice. And now let's get into the experience as I was breaking it in. So, you know, there's tons of reviews out on this now. People talked about failure to feed issues, magazine issues. Some people say that if you change out the recoil spring, it may all help. Honestly, I didn't really experience any of those issues. So when I first got it, that disconnector issue that everyone's talking about, let me see if I can do this on camera. So right here, you can see that's the disconnector. And I'm gonna pull the trigger to show you. So you can see that little thing moving, wiggling. So that's the disconnector. So a lot of people had issues with the firearm being hung up on the disconnector. I did, honestly, in the beginning. So when I first got it, if I just kind of like, I know now it's difficult to do it because it's broken in. I mean, so spoiler alert, disconnector issue is non-existent. I mean, you can kind of force it. Let me try to force it so it gets hung up. There it goes. There it goes. So when I first got it, if I kind of like hung it up on that disconnector, it would just stay. It would just hang there by itself. And everyone that's been getting failure to feed issues, they've been saying that that's most likely the reason. But I didn't really have any failure to feed issues. In the first, let me try to break it out into round count. So from round number 1 to about round 350-ish, I did have failure to feed, but I only had like, I think I only had like 6, that's it. And you know, the issue with that was because I was limp wrestling the firearm. We were trying to cause a failure to feed. Me and my friend, we tried everything, and the only way that we could get a failure to feed was we were limp wristing the firearm as we were shooting it. That's the only way that we got it. We did have one, but we concluded that it was an ammo issue, because the ammo literally started getting like smushed into the actual brass, the round. So that one, we concluded that that was more of an ammo issue. But shot a different bunch of rounds through it. A lot of Winchester, Fiocchis, PMCs. This one that I never heard of before called Callaway, IG, bunch of rounds. 115 grain, 124 grain, 147 grain. It shot fine. So in the 350 to around 600 round count, I mean, the hanging issue was, you know, disappearing. I mean, there's less hang, getting smoother. 600 to 750, there's like no hang. The hanging issue was gone. Which never, honestly, it never really bothered me anyway. And then, you know, around 750 to 1,000, it just, this thing's just turning to butter. Amazing. God. So this trigger, this gun, it just loves to go fast. And you know, as it's broken in now, this firearm just loves to go fast. And kind of like a do-it-all gun to me, for me. I mean, I'm 6'4". I mean, so I've actually been concealed carrying it for over a month now, to see how the Cerakote will hold up. And it's holding up fine. You know, you have a little bit of nicks here. But yeah, Cerakote's holding up great. No issues carrying it. I thought that this would kind of be uncomfortable because it just feels like that fine sandpaper, but you know what? I've had no issues. And another thing, you know, about the Prodigy is, you know, so I have 1,000 rounds through it, and you guys can kind of see that it has a little bit of wiggle, but tolerances are pretty good. And honestly, I like the little bit of wiggle because, you know, I consider this a duty gun more than a competition gun. And if I'm gonna be like hiking in the woods or something like that, if I accidentally drop it, I mean, hopefully I won't, but if there's dirt and stuff in there, I mean, I want this to be able to cycle that with all that stuff in there. But if it's too tight, it's just gonna like lock up. So I do like that. And this thing is just a flat shooter. I mean, let me put in a clip, but this thing just shoots really, really flat. You know, and around the round mark, maybe 900-ish. I mean, even limp wristing it, the firearm performed just fine. It performed great, beautifully. And then we even had a first-time shooter shoot the Prodigy, and she definitely limp wristed it, and she didn't have any issues with the firearm at all. I mean, you can see right now, like, just 2 fingers. I mean, I'm just wrapping it fine. I mean, this thing's just buttery smooth. And the first time shooter, she actually hit her target. We were shooting those Birchwood Casey's 6-inch round targets, and she hit target just fine because, you know, this gun is just so pointable and so shootable. And the trigger on this it's amazing. I mean, here's your wall and a little bit of take up, and there it is right there. And just one thing that I did notice about the trigger was after the wall, let me see if I could get this on camera. So here's the wall. There is that little bit of mush you can see right there before the trigger actually breaks. But I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, it shoots great. I mean, it's a 1911 trigger. I mean, it's the gold standard. But 1,000 rounds, I'm even more happy with this firearm than when I bought it. And I'm not sure, I mean, this is top 2 running. I mean, my first favorite firearm has always been the Colt Python. It's classic, love it. But now this, I don't know. So just some things to point out that are kind of on the negative side, they're not even really big negatives, is the screws. So every time I shoot, the optic plate screws come loose and the grip screws come loose, more specifically on the left side of the firearm. So I just got screwed down every time when I'm starting to and finishing up shooting at the range. But those are my only negatives. I'm probably going to make a 2,000 round review of this, or if the optic plate comes in for my RMR, I'll do a review of the RMR on this. But I think this is just an all around do whatever you want gun. I mean, I'll carry this appendix whenever I walk around, or I'll put it in my book bag. And it's been doing great, and I'm really surprised. But I didn't think that this Cerakote will hold up that well, but you know what? It's doing a fine job. So yeah, and I'll make sure to put some shooting clips in this video. I know that was kind of a comment from the previous videos, so I'll make sure to do that in this one. But yeah, and one thing that I wish that they had was some maybe mag wells. I mean, it looks like it is kind of primed and prepped. So it looks like that is something that Springfield will kind of release in the future, or the aftermarket. So we'll be looking forward to putting one of those on. But yeah. All right, thanks for joining. Out.